Good morning, good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, I know it's been a little bit since we talked, especially the fact that I've been ripping and roaring with the program Get Funded. We had a good turnout. Thursday was a little rough. Thursday was rough. Getting my second account funded and ran into a bit of a buzzsaw. But Friday had its pros and cons and everything. But this market is doing something very fun. Let's go ahead and clear these drawings. All right, so remember we talked about this a while back when it came down to the market. If we go back and zoom out a little bit, that first thing is we got our October 2023. Where are you? October 2023 run, right? This is our October 2023 run. We had a nice little solid uptrend here, and we came and retested it somewhere around August, right? So that's technically the trend that we're on. But when we make these deviations, right, and we're making higher highs, remember, I've always taught y'all there's no such thing as a higher high until there's a higher low. So this has to happen first. So when we broke this structure right here, we basically were screaming out that, hey, this pivot point and this pivot point gave us the strength to get past here. So we needed to attack this level. And you can see we got really, really close in the middle of February. We failed to hold it, and we didn't even test it. So right now we kind of have ourselves this. It's a little bit of a lower high. This is our micro trend reversal. And then we got one more extension of that, which we're going to see from the daily, where we're kind of creating this pivot to the downside, something that looks like this. So when we see this rounding of that top, and when I was taught this a while back, it's almost like the market does this very interesting thing. It's almost like a arc, like we have our support like this, and then that happens kind of like a bell. And what ends up happening, we can't make any higher highs, but they keep on trying until they can't try no more, and then we get these wedge actions. So I do think in some of the smaller time frames, some of that action is actually happening because they're testing to try to get up there, and they just keep on failing to get there. So it's kind of like this is our curve right here, and then it drops. Another thing that you could kind of notice too is that we got this center pivot, another breaker structure, which is this one right here, and it looks like an M pattern, which could pan out. We are sitting on top of a 200-day, so this is not going to be an easy drop, especially coming off of a bull market. But we can be prepared for any type of situation if we just open our eyes to the possibilities and the probabilities. Now, is there a possibility that we could get a bounce and go to the upside? Absolutely. Because this 200 moving average is something that a lot of market makers and traders love to see as a bounce. Let's go ahead and look at the last time we were there. Here's the 200. Did it go past it? Yes, it did. But guess what? They recovered it. This was your August 5th reversal. Roughly around there. It came back, retested it again, thought they can recapture the wick. They can't. And then they try to get back into it, and it was like, oh, eventually it's going to break if we keep on stabbing until they liquidate them again. So that is what you want to kind of see from here is it strong enough for us to continue to the upside or not? This is our other deviation of that downtrend. Well, we kind of pivoted from this point. We got another pivot that created this new lower low over here. So now, what are you going to do, 200? Make your move. That's where we are now. So a nice little break to here, maybe even getting back to 2600 would be a solid move, so that way we can like really recover and kind of push to that upside and get back to 21,000. That could be our reversal, but until some of this stuff starts to build a little bit of support, kind of build itself some structure, break out of the top side and break in downside structure, we're going to be looking at possibly playing more until we touch this trend line. Now, this trend line is a strong area. If we don't bounce on this 200, I think we're going to bounce right off of that trend line. So I am going to say we're probably going to touch 19,843 somewhere, somehow, or as the line keeps on going and it takes too long, it might be shorter and shorter and shorter, and that's how that game is going to work. So just keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and look at something else. This is oil. Remember that order block I told y'all about? We're still here. We are still here. Actually, we're at the bottom of it right now as they're trying to decipher what they're going to do. I don't know if maybe it's Elon Musk putting pressure on them because he makes so many EV vehicles. Who knows? I don't care. But I can tell you this order block looks like it's really, really strong. I'm anticipating a bounce when we get close to $66.53, but there is a possibility after making a higher high from this pivot that this could be the momentum that actually tests to come down to this level, which hasn't been tested since September of 2024. So keep in mind of this area could be a zone for a bounce up as well. And then this is also exhausted. So this is going to be very interesting. Another one that we're going to look at is gold. Gold tried to get to that 3,000, but it got too close to the sun. So they're trying to get some new friends and see if it can finally blast through. But we'll see. Maybe I'll just do another evening star type of action, kind of what we did over here in October 2024. And that kind of pulled us down. That gave us the strength to get up to here. Maybe. But this was a lot of accumulation here. A lot of accumulation. And that accumulation could be all straight distribution until it comes down to the downside. And maybe even come back into this contract gap. Very possible. But we're going to see what happens with this order block. Did they accumulate, retest so that way it can drop? Or did they accumulate so that way they can go ahead and trap some bears and start to get to that 3,000, get enough liquidity to get to 3,100. I really thought it was going to get to 3,100. All right, next one we're going to talk about is the infamous dollar. Now, this is a very interesting one because let me come back a little bit. How are we getting this while we're getting that? Doesn't make any sense, right? Because if the market is dropping, then that means the dollar should be what? Rising, right? The strength of the dollar is what pushes the market a little bit lower. Could it be people are repositioning their selves? The hedge funds are making decisions that they need. What could be the case that we're getting a bit of a convergence between the dollar and the market? That normally does not happen. My theory is this: they're testing all of these levels so that way we don't come back to it. They're accumulating from the dollar so that way they can strengthen it up. Or the strength of this downside, let me adjust this line. Wrong line. The strength of the dollar is so much right now that they're like, okay, you know what? We got to balance this off. And we're going to get a nasty, nasty pop in the market as the dollar drops even further. I would say if the dollar did fall, it'd probably come down to here around 104. I think they built up quite a bit of momentum, broke this uptrend, broke this micro uptrend. Let me go ahead and toss that if this doesn't make any sense anymore. We have this micro uptrend, which we are breaking now. This is what we drew last week on Friday. Could this be the one that actually just takes us all the way down and then now the market starts to rally? If you don't know about market cycles, I do think you should go check out market seasonality. Normally around this season, we usually get a bit of a bull move, and we're going to see how March handles that. So it's going to be fun. All right, so that said, we kind of covered some of the tickers. If you have not been on my floor before, we do things very, very uniquely with a little sprinkle of consistency because that's how it's supposed to be, right? You're not going to be a profitable trader just bouncing all over the place. So the two things we do here is, one, opening range. Opening range is a very common setup. A lot of traders use it. A lot of really, really good traders use it. We do a little bit of a variation. Some people follow suits. Some people have their own 15-minute range, right? Especially when the market opens at 9:30 and wherever it breaks out with the 5-minute closing below or above it. And we'll take that opportunity to give you a nice little setup of what that looks like. We're going to go ahead and grab, what was I looking at? Let's go grab Starbucks. Starbucks has been on this tear. I kind of saw like an inverse head and shoulder looking thing. They try to get inside of the CEO gap and all this stuff. So I was very curious because now we're at a point that I'm a little uncomfortable in trying to play this proverbial W because I'm like, yeah, it does look like a W, but I don't know. Starbucks to 150? I feel like I'm just being a little bit overzealous with that one. So to kind of counteract that, I was looking at this yesterday and trying to see would I do an opening range breakout on Starbucks. Now we've done it in tech, we've done it in NVIDIA, we've done it in AMD, we've done it in QQQs, which is one of my favorites. We've done it in every single thing, but does Starbucks react to something very similar? So let's go ahead and grab a few days and kind of understand what it does around 9:30. So here is 9:30. So here is our opening range. Bang. Bang. All right. Go ahead. Open the range. All right. So looks like we had a nice solid break right here. So let's go ahead and go into the 5 minute and see if how that 5 minute candle looked when we broke it. All right. So we had a break at 11:05. They came back and retraced it. This was probably going to be uncomfortable, and also this one too. Probably a little bit uncomfortable, especially that this just broke. That was probably some buy side liquidity sweep. You probably would have got stopped out there. Maybe sat out, not even dealing with this. But if you were late to stop yourself out, you probably would have been deeper in the red. Then again, another break right here, and that was solid. Stop loss somewhere around here would have been solid, and we had a nice little move to the downside, about 25 cents or so, a little bit closer to the money. Ooh, yeah, that would have been tough. Nice little retracement into here, tested it again, and we probably would have got in. That would have been our 3 strikes, and that would have been the real move. So that would have been from roughly here, oops, wrong one, roughly here to about 50 cents of a move. Would have been closer to $1, and that would have been ending our day, unless you could weather the fact that actually that's not too bad. Not too bad. Depending on your sizing, how many contracts. Let's just say I like to scale in. So this first one I probably would have been in, maybe been uncomfortable as the fair value gap fails on the 5 minute, but for the most part, maybe handled it and got a second one on its way down here. Take out most of my position at this point. Yeah, I would have never get it back into here. So yeah, that's the, if I would say price scalability based on this first one. Let's see how Friday was. All right, Friday. All right, here is our 930. I'm gonna do this a little bit of a variation. I can kind of see it. So here's our 930 opening range there. Beam, beam, beam. Especially a consolidated inside here, ended at 945 at stranger danger. Would have got trapped here, break back in. Would have got trapped here, break back in. This one wasn't too well of a play in itself. Would have got trapped in 3 traps. That would have been tough. That would have been a very tough one. But that end of the day was monstrous. Almost looks like right here was a bit of a accumulation as they were building up on the 200. That's what it looks like on the 5 minute. So maybe that first try, maybe start to see the pattern recognition after the second try. And then if you sat out at 1, as we broke through stranger danger, you could have waited until this happened, and you probably could have carried something overnight. And that was a nice little solid move. And it looks like they took their profits here. Very interesting there. All right, well, one more. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to break down our second setup that we like to do on this floor. Let's see, this is 930. Here's our thing. Oh, a little bit lower. Stranger danger is in this area right here. Never came back to it. Used it as a retreat. So we got, boom, nice little solid move. Broke through. Let's say you got into here. Not much of a pullback, like 25 cents. But you could kind of see nice little accumulation on top of the range. And it kind of took off that, yeah, nice little takeoff. Probably take your profit somewhere around in this zone. If you could have lasted a little bit, you probably would have squeezed out some more, but more than likely your full position will be done as you're trying to accumulate the time. Maybe waited for 12 o'clock, see what it does, and it never got back to the 12 o'clock pivot. Yeah, that could have been a nice little solid move. So I do like Starbucks for opening range breakout with the 15 and 5. Do back test that. We only did 3. I do suggest that you do 100 so you can make sure you know what you know and you see what you see. All right, and then the other one that we like to do on this floor, it is called Market Dominance. It's a small indicator that I created, which basically anticipate what the next candle is going to be. So I like to use it on the 45 minute on NQ. So let's see how this fared in the past couple of days. This is Sunday. All right, Thursday. Let's grab that. All right, so market open around here, had a massive drop off, which basically was signaling saying, hey, we're probably going to get a green candle here. But you can kind of see they got a lot of that buy side liquidity that was probably trying to catch that knife. But we got a nice little reversal If you were able to be patient until this was completed, probably could have got that retracement and ride the wick. Another massive move here, anticipated for green. It did there. This one also anticipated for green, but you could kind of see we've tested levels, and we also, if you had a nice little stop here, you would be like, all right, I can't let it break structure. Yeah, you probably would have been able to avoid that disaster there. And then this was an anticipated red, which it was red. This one, small pullback, and again, break a structure and continue. Again, just like any under indicator, you want confluence so that we can pick your trades. You don't just use one individual one. All right, and then let's see. This is Monday. Again, same type of setup. Oh, that's interesting. Had a 9:30 massive move down, long wick on 9:45. 9:30. Oh, actually 9 o'clock, right? Massive move down, long wick up into this area. Very interesting. I wonder if we're gonna get that pattern again when we open up. All right, and then this one was anticipating a green, but that did not pan out. But then they got a nice little recovery. I think these people probably took their profits. That's the reason why. Very modest pullback as we opened up at 4:30, and you can kind of see consolidation. Nice pullback. All right, so this just our two setups that we look at, and we're gonna see if we can find anything along the lines. Today is Tuesday. We designed it mostly for paper trade. Get your juices flowing again after a long weekend. If you didn't paper trade on yesterday, take this opportunity to get yourself acclimated, not only for just paper trading and paper trading's sake. Remember, when we paper trade with a purpose. If y'all remember the chart I showed you, we paper trade to develop skill. We paper trade to test new strategies. In this case, we're just not testing strategies, we're just warming up. Adapt to market changing. Market changes every day. So this is a perfect reason why you want to paper trade. Understanding and managing your emotions. Master your execution mechanics. Track your performance and build your confidence. That is our goal for today. All right. So that way we can have a very, very, very solid week and continue to build our portfolio. All right. So let's go run through some tickers. There's quite a few tickers I've been very curious about. I was going to short the crap out of AVGO. Let me go ahead and give you a little bit of my thesis of AVGO. Coming back over to the daily. All right. So if we look at AVGO on Thursday, we tried to get back above the 50 EMA and we broke right back below. When I noticed that we did not fill this position, I was like, I don't think we're going to get there. Especially that we're in this lower register of the MACD. So I really considered shorting AVGO. So the setup I was looking for a potential drop because tech is still selling. I'm just telling you this right now. I don't know what's going on with tech. It could be some profit taking. It could be everybody's going to do some sector rotations, going into other places like your Johnson & Johnson Healthcare, or maybe last week I played 3M, which I think is materials. I might be wrong, but they probably go into other sectors to park their money until tech cools down. So just keep that in mind. So AVGO, I was thinking about 150 puts, and I was thinking about something very, very short term, but it's just going to be such a massive move that we should be able to take some profits. But this thing kind of ran away from me in the middle of the day as I was playing futures. Their earnings is coming up on the 6th, so I kind of pulled back on that. So just be very conscious on that. It might be that the earnings is what drive us to 150, because I do think there's an area here that needs to be tested. Or it could be that we get ourselves a nice little 200-day moving average bounce. So just keep that in mind. What else I got for y'all? Well, you know what? Let me talk about 3M. So this is 3M. I found this one very, very interesting, only because of the fact that we kind of build a base off the 50 moving average, and we kind of continue to kind of push to that upside. You can kind of see we took out a lot of that sell side liquidity that was sitting around here, and we tried to make some new highs. We did pull back, and I think this was just some profit taking, but this crossing the MACD makes me feel a little bit boldened to be bullish. But this weekly right here is a little bit questionable. Can they put in a weekly fair value gap, especially after they retest and did not fill this one? That's what I'm kind of looking at, because if that's the case, maybe we can get up into this area around 161 before it starts to reverse on the weekly. That's what I'm curious about. But again, when that happens, we might put in a bearish divergence, because I don't think we're going to get a lot of momentum with it, but it kind of looks good. So let's see if this fair value gap can hold for the week, and then maybe next week we'll play something to the upside. They do have earnings in April, so I think we got ourselves a little bit of breathing room before we have to deal with any volatility. Let's see, give y'all one more before we go to the paper trading. Johnson & Johnson. I've been watching Johnson & Johnson. Oh, I forgot I drew this channel. I did draw this channel. Why did I draw this channel? Bear with me. Sometimes I do this stuff and I'm like, okay, I think I see what I want. So, we drew this. I drew this channel, and I think it was because of this action here, because I looked like I stopped it here, and I was anticipating that it was going to do the same thing over here. We've already tested this, and what made me a little bit bold, and I'm trying to play this to the upside, I got some paper trades still in it, but I think I closed off my position. I'm gonna have to double check that. No, sorry, I got back into one position in here yesterday. And it look like we're back up pre-market. I'm looking for them to take out this wick over here and take out this gap, because that will be a true break of this channel. We've been in this channel since March of 22? Yeah. No, May of 22. So if you don't know what happened with Johnson & Johnson, Johnson & Johnson got to a peak. Then there was a lawsuit, which they always gets lawsuit. This is a very, very big company. They're well ran and everything else, but they cut corners somewhere. And the last lawsuit was, I think it was asbestos in the talcum powder. You know, you remember the days you had your baby, you put the powder in, so that way they don't have the rash and everything else in their diaper. Well, come to find, they had some stuff that can create cancer. So that was part of the lawsuit that they had, and they've paid a good port, or so they settled, I think somewhere around here. I got to go through my notes and find it. They settled somewhere around here. They recovered roughly around here, and their earnings are starting to stay even more positive. So they're balancing whatever lawsuit that's there. They're balancing it off. They're still generating revenue. They're still selling stuff. Again, they're in all types of different spaces of healthcare, and you can kind of see that it's still a solid company. So I think that's what's recovering here. This was the base, roughly around valuation of 140 per share, and that order block is what's holding us. So noticing that we were playing this channel and it was just very choppy all the way down, we came to this order block, held the order block, did the reversal. That was the pickup, and that's the push. So I'm looking for a possibility, and this is very, 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 very bold statement. So when I mean that is a very, very bold statement, that also means that this is a high risk, high reward. So do not hold my feet to the fire for this, because if this does fail, it's because it's got to hit certain levels of support. And right now we got loads of support here. So Johnson & Johnson 2026, could it get to $200? Why am I thinking 200? Well, first, let's go ahead and grab a nice little move right here. Push that. Boom. Let's call this my, where are you, main? There it is. And let me put in the negative 168. That. I'm not saying that it's going to do it. I'm just saying that there's a possibility, if this thing does not come back anywhere around 150 in the next year, 3 months, 6 months, and it rides this trend, there will be a pullback. And remember how I told y'all about trend lines. All you need is 2 to be a trend. That's it, period. We made a higher low right here and never looked back ever since. There's got to be some profit ticket. It could be happening from here, and it comes back down. Come on, give me my lines, right? Comes back down like this and then bounce. But as long as it doesn't do something like this, I think it probably can get to $200. I really do. So bold statement, MACD crossing through. They could pin this stochastic all the way to the top. If we go over to the monthly, it looks even more interesting. So just keep an eye on Johnson & Johnson. Long-term play, we'll see what happens. All right, let's get some paper trading in. Let's go over to NQ. I'm already in my paper trade. Good. And let's have some fun. Let's come down to the 1 minute just so that way we can just get some. Burp. What happened here? Am I going crazy? Please tell me I just got was there some news? Let's go check out some news, because that. Why is there a nice little gap right here from here to here in 1 minute? Yeah. All right, let me go check the news. Let's see what we find. My FX book is one that I like to use. Some people like Forex Factory. By all means, just go ahead and enjoy what you like. No, I don't see any news. Interesting. Give you a little sense. This was a 128 gap up. And if we go to a 5 minute, it just looks like a fair value gap. Oh, wait. Well, hold on. So why? Okay, so data issues, TradingView. What are you doing over there? My 1 minute chart is showing me a gap that does not exist. Well, technically it's a fair value gap, so it still exists. It still kind of exists. But it just looks weird. It really does look weird. I'm missing a whole candle right here, TradingView. All right, we're getting a fill back down. What I'm probably going to do, because we already passed what would have been the 15, and actually we could get away with it. Let's just do this so we can get ourselves ready for opening range, kind of play around with opening range breakout in 1 minute. Let's see if we can find something fun to kind of toy around with. If not, we'll find something on market dominance and see if we can get ourselves a solid paper trade. You can kind of see on the 1 minute, this is what we would consider a distribution here. You had a solid accumulation here, markup, markup. You have distribution, markdown. A very, very good example of that. If you've ever heard someone tell you that the market cycle in this 1 minute has been very clean. Still kind of bullish on this 1 minute though. Let's check out some other time frames. 5 minute bearish, 15 minute bearish, but with a bullish divergence. Nice little move to the downside here, and then we have ourselves higher lows here. They're not agreeing, so we could get a nice little reversal there. 30 minute, let's get see another bullish divergence there. Actually, multiple bullish divergence, right? Boom, boom, and boom. Just depends if it crosses. Let's see the 2 hour. 2 hours already building theirs. Massive drop off here. And that was the funny thing about yesterday. It just felt like the 2 hour wasn't done yet, and they were trying to push that thing up. That was just a whole accumulation phase here. And daily. Daily could be exhausted, but again, I think a lot of this reaction is based on the 200 on the daily. That's probably why we're getting this bounce. I do have a gap down here, which is a kick gap right here from contract expiration. I was very curious who was going to get that low, but you can kind of see, oh, we left a little bit of a bullish fair value gap here. Let me point this out for y'all. If this holds the way I think it can hold. Actually, I did that wrong. Bottom. That one. If this thing can hold the way I think it can hold, you got yourself a little bit of a move right here that's left lingering, that hasn't been addressed. Let's go back to that 1 minute. Let me see how that looks. Yep, kind of something like that. They're starting to liquidate that. Could this be a prerequisite or a prelude to a kiss of death as they sweep this, use that as cushion, and we just go lower? 2,200. Let's call it 20,200. Let's just put that on there. I want to see what the reaction will be there. All right, this looks very interesting. Let's see. I want to short it here only because the fair value gap was filled off that 5 minute or this full gap that's here. I'm not, only because I think I could get more bang for my buck if I wait for this and they fill this fair value gap and get some good cushion instead of me speculating and deal with all this chop. A little bit of a kick here. We're gonna be patient. Which paper trade is this? What the? Oh, this is Leo. Oh my God, she left this on. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's put that. She must have forgot about it on my desk. Yeah, we're starting to lose a little bit of volume coming in. No one wants to be the one holding the bag, so we're probably not going to get a good solid paper trade. I think the real trade was probably up around here, as we could have played some fair value gap onto this downside. But we're getting close to 9:30, so maybe we'll run through some tickers because I don't think we're going to get anything. Let me just do this, and then we'll run through some tickers. Let's see. CrowdStrike. Let's look at CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is one of those tickers that I think needs to come down. Massive move, massive move, massive move, massive move. Bear flag-ish. And then one more extension down. I think that earnings is tonight. That's the reason why this is happening. If we go up to the weekly, you'll notice that this is an area that they may test after making highs, and this would be our bearish divergence. I've been looking at bearish divergence in the data protection space, like your CrowdStrikes and all of that, ever since the Microsoft debacle. That was it. CrowdStrike? No, I think not Datadog. It might have been CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike screwed up. I think that's them, right? And I think they had to resolve their lawsuits and everything else. Someone has raised their price target from 370 to 420. Huh, cute. Not the way this chart looks, especially as it's pointing down. If anything, we're probably going to get a nice little retracement into that 355. That's what I'm thinking. But at the very least, 365. We're already at 378 during the pre-market. Shopify. Let's talk about these bad boys. Wow, I got a lot of alerts here. I think I was looking for this thing to ride this trend line. Let's take a peek here. Yeah, I think that's what I was looking for. I was looking for them to ride that trend line. It's failing to do so, which can lead to them testing over here. So we got a 200 moving average and we have an 800 here. Probably get back to $60. No. Maybe that $100 level will hold. Watch for a reaction here, and that could be the bounce so that we can test this imbalance over here at 121. Got a nice little kick up here as well. And I did have an alert for breakout, but it looks like we're getting all the breakdowns that it can take. So yeah, maybe a little bit more. Got to close. Yeah, pre-market is 103. May come back for the gap to 92 before the bounce, because we got a nice little gap here. So yeah, Shopify to 100 for a bounce first. If it fails to make a higher high, then we get to 92. All right, let's do one more since it's 9:24, and then we'll go look at the market, see if we can find something to toy with. Let me go to my earnings list. Let's talk about this month. Y'all remember Zim? Crazy ticker. Oh, got an alert. Let's go check that out in Q. Don't spike it too fast. All right, so we're probably going to get that breakthrough. Nice little drop, but we're sitting right on top of this block. I want to see a close below here. Hey, good morning, and good morning. I appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe for your boy. Oh, and also all my funded traders or those that are a little bit more seasoned, not my beginners. You know, this Elite is extending their 90% off for another 4 days. You want to take an opportunity, by all means, go ahead and get that cracking and get yourself an account as little as $16. All right, come on, don't do that. I was trying to find something fun to play before we go in. Good solid market dominant signal in this 1 minute, just like how they did the signal right here. I do think this block is tough. The block is hot. Every time they come to it, it's giving it a little bit of a bounce. You got a bounce here, bounce here. They got a nice deep penetration here. Another bounce. You're very welcome. No problem. All right, that is 9 to. Ooh, look at that push. Oi! Get that bounce off that block. All right, we got a lot of movement here, so there could be some profit taking happening. They hit the 200 and push right back in. If you're a scalper, that could have been a nice look, like a nice little quick scalp. There's our retracement for potential reversal as we're sitting right on top of this MACD like this. All right, it's 9:28 in a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and tone it down a bit as we wait for the market to open and get that pure volume, the real volume. Also, as you know, it is my season. I off as far as work and everything else, so I have a hard stop at 9:45. But I will leave you with our opening range levels, so that we can take some solid trades and try to knock it out the park, folks. So patience, folks, patience. This is a game where the slow money takes money from the fast money. The impatient gets wiped out by the patient. Might get that close. Might get that close here. Nice rejection off that 200. Coming back into the order block, making lower lows. Got the MACD going under. Got the stochastic that can go back into this lower register. Lots of interesting things that could happen here. A little bit of profit taking, hence the reason why market dominance is like it is potentially green, but that lower low is telling us that we could still come back down if they recapture that wick. Sure, there's only Fed speaking today. Nothing real spectacular is going to happen. It's really tomorrow that's probably going to be a catalyst. We got ISMs. We got factory orders, we got oil, we got Beige Book. I can't remember. Did Beige Book cause a problem? I know Beige Book tends to be hit or miss. I think that's what it is. Then we got non-farm payroll. Nope, sorry. Non-farm productivity. We have jobless claims. And then we have very light, just jobless claims. Is it Friday that's loaded? Oh, yes, it's Friday. Non-farm payroll, average hourly. We may get some, a whole lot of Fed speaking. Even Chair Powell going to J Powell the market in a minute. So, maybe play up until Friday. We're also going to quad witching, which is going to be the 17th or the 21st. Hold on, I'll tell you that right now. Quad witching is not something that happens on the time of. It is something that happens leading up. So the market's going to do its dance. Ooh, I'm getting Carvana and Meta coming down. Interesting, interesting. Let's grab my info. Let's grab Qs. Oh, not that one. I want the option chain. Make sure I have my dates right. All right. Yeah, so the 21st is where all the smoke gonna happen. All right, let's get rid of this thing and get ourselves ready for, oops, let's get rid of that. Bye-bye. Get ourselves ready for opening range breakout. That was more of a thesis to get an idea for something fun to kind of toy with for our paper trade, but didn't give us what we're looking for. Come on. There we go. Welcome back to the party. I am very interested on this leftover fair value gap that was created here. This is going to be very interesting. Where did I draw that off of? Might have been a daily. Why are you lagging so much? This is not the time for that. Come on now. Very interesting. All right, I might have to change charts because this chart is looking like it's doing some funky stuff that I don't like. I might have to go grab my main. Don't want to do that, but might have to. See what I meant? Like that one, that just looks very, very tempting for anything in itself. It's a fair value gap that got mitigated roughly around here, tested on that Monday, and then now we're back at it to see if we can collect the rest. Is that possible? As we get into the 200, nice slow solid order block from here to here. That could be our bounce. Very, very interesting as we develop this. Let's go back to the 15-minute. Like I said, we do everything by opening range. They came and tested it. For those that are taking this trade, be conscious there's a block right under it. And boom, right? So this is possibly what we're going to be looking at for an open range. We'll see what happens. Oh, Qs has dropped below 500. Didn't realize that. Very interesting. All right. Looking for Reddit to test 122. See what Reddit looks like. It's in my red list. Oh, Netflix melting to 900. That is another thing I'm looking at. See how that goes. Look at Reddit. Lots of profit taking that's happening here. Let's go over to the daily. A break below 154 is probably what I would love to see as we go into 148. And I think the 122 was a little aggressive, but I do think we're going to test this trend line. On my earnings list, Netflix had a major move, especially after all these accumulation phases here, and here. And you can see right there. Actually, let me put my demonstration on. Let me toy with this right now. This little area here, and here. We could be doing something along the lines of this coming down, but it would have to break under here for that to happen. So a close under 950, I would play this into 900, probably right here. As tech continue to sell off. I know I sound like CNBC right there, right? But the only difference is it's not the news, it's more like the rumor, right? So enjoy. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Tesla is dropping again. And I do think it could get to 250 before it bounces. I don't think it's going to get to 200. I've heard very, very interesting speculation on the 200 level. And I have my doubts. Kind of in this deviation of a downtrend with another extension of that. And there's a point where the market just says enough is enough. The question is, does that work for Tesla? All right, let's go back over to NQ. Let's see what our opening range looks like now. All right, we're still stuck in that range. We got like about 9 minutes left. So again, like I said, we're going to establish the 15 minute. And when that happens, we take our high and low. And the first thing that breaks, either to the upside or the downside, a 5 minute close above or below, and we'll play respectively to it. Yeah, this is blood. Look at my watch list. This is all earnings with that February run. Massive moves. Got some 5s, got some 2%. This is last month's earnings. You got 3% over at Spotify. Kind of saw that happening with Spotify. I should have played that thing. Got a 4% here, 3% over at AutoNation. Affirm is giving its lunch money away. Oh, 15 minutes pushing up again. Let's get that. I think we could probably get up inside of here somewhere. Got some 4% there, 3% on DraftKings. Now, DraftKings is one of those. It's kind of does this pullback because you know Super Bowl is over, but then it picks back up in the middle of March. I won't be surprised you get a little bit of a bounce here. Cleveland Cliffs with the Biden administration gone, infrastructure build back better, blah blah blah, and some more crap. I think that's out the window. I think that's why this is dropping. Nvidia, look at you trying to give it a little bit of a bounce, but it's now at 114. I think they're going to test that 100 level. If y'all remember, Nvidia got really deep a few months back. It got into the 90s. And low was 90.69. Yeah, so that could be one of our moves as well. Let's keep that in mind. All right, back to NQ. Got 7 minutes left. Google. Google is one that's going to be very interesting in 150. I'm curious of what it's going to look like. A 150 Google. Watch this. I'm going to show y'all something. This area. Right here. 148.20. Is this going to give us one of those bounce, or is it going to go ahead and just drop and continue down? Next month, this month, we got a couple of things. Let's see who's dropping like a weight. Oh, Best Buy. Go with your instincts, Jeff. Go with your instincts. This is one I had a feeling was going to happen. If we go over to the monthly, I think it was, I saw that we kind of struggled to get back up into this area, and it was making higher lows, and I was like, well, this is a nice little engulfing. If we take out this 81, we're probably going to go ahead and come down. So when we were doing this yesterday, like a nice little hammer, I was like, damn, could they be hammering it down for earnings? And I was like, you know what? I don't like to carry anything over earnings, but look at that drop. They're overpriced anyways. All right, we have an official 5 minutes left, so let's go back over to NQ and see how that looks. Oh my God, you really gonna slow down like this? I need you to act faster. Come on now. Where's my drawing? Not that. I want all my drawings because I know I gave you a 15-minute order block. Wow. This thing is moving really, really slow. All right, that's not good for a scalper. Let me go figure out what's slowing me down. Maybe I have some stuff that's not supposed to be open. Let me close this right now. Oh, quit that program. Wait, it still didn't bring my... That is interesting. All right, let's just put it back, I guess. Very interesting. I don't think I deleted it. Come on, TradingView. Behave. All right, we got ourselves about 4 minutes left for this opening range. Look at that doji on this 15-minute. There's no real control happening right now. There's no news catalyst. Everything is backloaded to Friday. Be smart with your entries. I would prefer y'all paper traded for a good chunk of today, just to kind of know what this market climate's going to be. All right, let's move to the downside, grabbing some of the buy side liquidity again. If we come down to the 1 minute, you'll see it like this. There was a little bit of a drift up. Good things come to those that wait. Yeah, grabbing that liquidity again. Last line of defense is down here at 266. Let's see, 300 psychological level bounce. That's probably why we're getting this bounce right now. All right, kind of early on this, so I won't be surprised there's some retracement into this, only because of the fact that we're kind of trying to make this massive move to the downside here. When we go back to the 15-minute, it looks like this, kind of hammerish. I think they're trying to drop it off a cliff. Stochastic is in that upper register. We got 1 minute and 38 seconds. For my bold traders, you're probably already in the trade. You already know your strategy. Tighten up when necessary. I think in the last 60 seconds, there's going to be some type of effect. Let's see if the market can hold it down for y'all. We're back under that 300 level. Psychological got beat there, so we could go to 2200. I really think we're going to go to 20,000 even. I think that's the way the real buyers are sitting. But again, the market does what it wants to do. Like I want it to go all the way to 19,000, doesn't matter. Oof, look at that smack. Oof. And that's what I was talking about when it comes down to these levels. That was a massive smack right there. And that's why I said this area right there, why I label it the way I do, stranger danger. Some strange things happens between those opening ranges. Strange. I'm like, oh, it was just drifting down without no hesitation. Nothing can hurt me. And then bang. Oh my God, what is going on? Why are you taking so long to load? Let me just go ahead and reset my trading view, because obviously something is not right before I try to take a trade and then this thing bites me. Let's get that. Let's get that. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Could be my memory. Let's get rid of that. All right. Let me load back my trading view. I had a feeling I was going to do that. I got two of them, huh? Don't I? Oh, no, I don't. Okay. And I don't have that opening range that was down. Not that opening range, that fair value gap at the bottom. Yeah, this thing is being funny. And not even a haha. Funny, just being silly. All right. May get myself ready to take a trade before I get out of here. Let's go here. Okay. So you see what I mean? Like, just wait. It's okay. Like, there's no reason to fight. Look at how like they're trying to buy this 260 up so much. Why get caught in the middle of something like that? Just wait. Just be patient. You're gonna find a trade, and the trade's gonna come to you and be like, hey, where have you been my whole life? I've been looking for you. I'm just joking. No, but just wait for the trade to come, and maybe get ourselves a setup right here. That's all. Nothing. Don't force the market. Okay, I thought we could get a breakout in this first 5 minutes, but especially with all this wick that we were being wick, and I thought I was going to get a break here, take out the sell side liquidity that just stepped in. That's what I was really aiming for, and then probably play it up to this upside, but this thing is being a jerk right now. I don't know. I don't know where it is. It might be in the car, and I'm not going downstairs. That's not happening.
Go get it.
No, leave my tablet alone. Thank you.
Mommy, did you see this stuff?
Almost like we're just there. Come on, 46 seconds. So we got our opening range. Our high side is 2430. Our low side is 2260, which they quite accumulated quite a bit here, right? They did 2 stabs at it, and it's building themselves a position for possible upside. And we just wait. A break above there is probably likely, but anything can happen. I'll give it another. Let's give it another 5 minutes. I'll hang out with y'all a little bit. I did have a hard stop at 9:45, but I am curious because if we can make some money, I would love to make some money before we get out of here. almost like we're wedging the price, something like this on this 5 minute. Back to the block. That's that 300 level again. Look for a little bit of a bounce here. And as you're waiting for the opening range to set up or give yourself a trade, it's still good practice to kind of look at what you're seeing. Like, oh, they just took out this low. That means they took out the buy side liquidity here. You know, that way you can kind of know what you see when you see it. And then you got buy side liquidity over here. That way you can kind of gauge that. Oh, they tried to take out the sell side liquidity, but they were like, we're not having none of it. Now we can put some more strength to this, just like how we did this earlier. This was a lot more strength here because we're like, oh, they took out that and that, so we're looking to take out the rest of the buy side liquidity. But nope, it's doing this wedge action. Took out the buy side liquidity again. Might capture this whole entire candle. Wick. We want to see the 5 minute close under 260. And there goes that 300 level. They tested it again. Oh, this is so painful. That's what happens when you don't have no news catalyst. That better not be disrespectful and wait for 10 o'clock. There's times that it does that, especially with the NQ. We'll see. Oh, can this be it? We're under 300 again. They try to buy it back up and push it back above that 300, but it looks like it's a little weak sauce. It's looking to see what it can do to that downside. What I'm thinking is along the lines of that it was going to break this structure. When it breaks that structure, it's going to push down something vicious. It's trying to find itself. Back to that 300 again. Does 300 become a batter's box and they just swing and hit it right back down, or does it break through? Like I said, that 200-day moving average is a tough line. That market loves when they trade on the daily. It's like paint drying. I know, folks. I know. Only if it could just give me the trade that I want when I want it. That's not how it works. All right, they just grab some more of the sell side liquidity again. They're trying to hold that 300 level. 345 is our stranger danger level, where they could be accumulating, or sorry, distributing to drop this thing further. All right, could be a rejection down now. This thing can hold. It's trying its best, but it look like its best is just not good enough. Come on. Yeah, they're trying to hold this thing down and get itself a possible pop. If this thing continues to hold it like that, I think it's really on the bearish side. And this is where stranger danger rejection could happen. Very interesting market. It's almost like it's sweeping both the highs, it's sweeping both the lows as it tries to pick its side. If you want to see how chaotic it is, I'm gonna go to a 1 minute chart. Ying, 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 ying. That's what you're getting. What I'm trying to see is it going to break that 300 again, and I don't think it is. It's trying to, but that's probably the pivot that's going to play more to the downside, because it's almost like there's a big order block at 300 holding it up. There we go. That's the break. And these are the breaks. Let's see if we can get ourselves under 257. Come on, baby. Get that buy side liquidity. Test that trend line. Then we could probably get ourselves an opening range breakout there. There she blows. And there she blows. See it keep on going down. This is what we were doing over at my get funded account. We're at 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand. I think I am done with this account. Almost. Come on, give me one more push. One more push. I have to stop at 4,500 if this thing doesn't go to where I think it could. One more. Gotta stop at 4,500. All right, almost funded. I'm at 1,000 away. This is what we were doing. Oh, all right. So, anyways, that was fun. That was great. I'm gonna be doing another Get Funded class sometime in the middle of March. I don't know exactly when because it's tax season, and I am like, you know what? No, that. We'll do it in the end of April. That way, I can be completely undivided, and I can do multiple Get Funded in one day. That's what I probably do. Let me do it like that. Look out for April. Get Funded. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna make some money, and I look forward to working with y'all. It is 10 o'clock. I gotta get out of here. Don't forget, click the link down below so that we can like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Let your friends know that I actually drop some good content. Also, my link tree has my Instagram. Follow me there so that way you can catch Mindset on Saturdays. But out of all things, Eli's giving out deals. The links is down below. Go ahead and show support. That's how this channel survives. And I bid you a fond farewell. Thank you very much for chiming in. And I'll see you tomorrow at 8:15 BYTTT before you take the trade. Goodbye.
Listen, I didn't have faith. I think you didn't have faith either. When you said 9:45, stop, chill. At 9:45, you was like,